The kind of big question that we had when I first came was, what is our purpose here in Ballysally? Why has God raised up a church in this estate? We talked about this and prayed about this, chatted to the leaders in the congregation, chatted to members of the congregation. The consensus of opinion was that God had called us here to be a witness in our community. We were probably pretty inward looking, and although in our minds planted here to be a witness to the community, in reality we'd become a wee community of our own, and we're looking to our own needs and meeting our own needs. As we talked about that and prayed about it and thought about it, we began to develop an understanding that we needed to change if we were going to actually be what God was calling us to be.
I mean, lots of people in Ballysally just don't go to church anymore, so we have to go to them.
We thought about possibilities. We looked at what other people were doing, and we experimented. You need to try things, and some things will work and some things won't work. Trying to translate that vision of being an open community rather than circled wagons, we looked to work on the links that we already had.
And it is a case of hard work and relationship building really within the homes, you know, whether that's just home visits with the parents and then encouraging further for the children to come in, being in the local primary schools doing assemblies or RE lessons.
We feel we have a very good working relationship that actually allows us to have a similar vision of being proactive to reach the community, being proactive in terms of engaging with young children.
And one of the things is scratch some of these people are itching. One of the first things that I did was start a simple five-a-side.
I never would have come to church before, so I wouldn't have. And then I met Johnny and that, and he got me into playing football and that with him, and other activities through the men's nights and all. I sort of helped organise that with him.
And one of the things that we have strategically decided to do to reimage and to rethink of what we actually do as a church is not to be scared to ask these men to be involved. And one thing we have noticed is that the 3 or 4 men who we've asked to come on board to organise activities, it's them people who are inviting their friends and their families to come along to this.
Our experience has been that if we work hard at developing friendships and we're real about that, you don't have to worry about the witnessing side. It just comes naturally. People are curious and they ask the questions.
Started off here just really visiting the pensioners in the church and getting to know them. Some of them live on their own, so they just love to see you coming. It's a bit of a sport for them. We were more or less concentrating on our own congregation, and then as we started to reach out, I found it quite difficult at the beginning as well, because these were people that I'd never met before, and they found it hard when I knocked on their door too, because they didn't know me, and there was lots of them just wouldn't even open their door, or they would open the door and just close it in your face. But as I've been going round more and more, they've started now to open up to me.
I think it throws people back onto their knees, you know, where we say, Lord, we want you to lead us. We want to be open to your guidance, and we want to do the thing that you're calling us to do, but we're not really sure how to do it. And so we're going to try this. And Lord, you know, we ask you to bless it, but if it's not the right way, show us it's not the right way and we'll try something else. Just that faith that's prepared to make mistakes and prepared to look foolish in the eyes of others.
That's a risk, but it's a risk I think for our church and a risk for a lot of churches that we need to start taking.
We've got to trust that if God is leading us on a journey, He will equip us for the journey, and that at the end or along the course of the journey there will be blessing for us and blessing for other people.